Hello my dear students, welcome back to online classes of Vivekananda PU College. I am Suprit Kesi. In last class we have studied what you mean by growth curve, what are the types of growth curve you obtain in a nature, and two conditions where you have unlimited resource as well as limited resource. Because of these unlimited and limited two options, we can obtain the exponential growth curve, then limited resource will lead to logistic growth curve. All these concepts we have seen, right? Today we will be continuing that. Today mainly we are going to talk about what is actually happening by the population in the nature, what are the interaction you can see in a population, and different types of interaction, what are those, and we are going to explain one by one today. My dear students, as I told you, the population is very important for the life on earth, right? Population is very important. Why population important? How the population builds means, the population is evolved in such a way that each organism should contribute in a maximum rate so as to reach the reproductive fitness or Darwinian fitness. Okay, I repeat, each organism in a species should potentially they should give a maximum contribution to reach the reproductive fitness. Sir, what do you mean by reproductive fitness? You can ask me. Reproductive fitness. Reproductive fitness. Reproductive fitness is nothing but the organism having the capacity to reproduce. Okay, they should produce more and more offsprings so as to they stabilize their colony in a particular geographical area. They should dominate in such a way that there is no competition at all. So each organism should express completely to reach the state called reproductive fitness, nothing but increase their number. Okay, increase their number. What do you mean by increase their number? Nothing but it is the increasing the value of R. Correct? How do you define R? R, intrinsic rate of natural increase. How do you define? Nothing but birth minus death, right? Yes, birth minus death. We cannot completely hold the death rate, but we can have the hold on birth rate. The organism should reproduce more and more so that there should be a greater birth rate. Birth rate should increase. Birth rate should increase. If birth rate is increasing, so then R rate also going to be increased. If the R rate is increasing, we will be reaching the state called reproductive fitness. If we are stabilizing the reproductive fitness, the whole habitat will be dominated by the particular species. Almost in the nature, each and every organism, they are going to reach the state called reproductive fitness so as to they can dominate over the habitat. This is the actual story. My dear students, you must know, because of you can quote reproductive fitness, R value, increasing the birth rate, all fine. In our habitat we can see many scenarios like there are some organisms, they can reproduce only once in their lifetime. Okay, once in their lifetime. Example, I can give you salmon fish, even bamboo, they are reproducing once in their lifetime. What about another case? We can find the organism which can reproduce in a multiple time. Say you take example of birds, okay, birds or many mammals too. Mammals, they reproduce multiple time, but the number of organisms surviving after birth or the number of organisms they escape from the barriers provided by the nature will be equal. Say if I have if a salmon fish is producing 1000 offsprings per year, or the birds after multiple reproduction producing 1000 offsprings per their lifetime, all these are same, right? So the balance is maintaining. So the organism which reproduce once in their lifetime, or they can multiply, they are doing a reproduction process, they won't make many sense. Fine. This is one case. In another case, I can even find the organism which are in very small size, which are producing very small size of offsprings, and also which are producing very small size but in huge number. Size is small but number is huge. Number is huge. Okay. The organism reproducing in such a way that the offsprings are very small in size but huge in number. The number is more. Okay. The example I can give you is pearl oyster. And in nature I can find another type of organism. The offsprings are very large or big in size, but number is very less in number. Our you can give an example of birds, even mammals, they all are showing this kind of a phenomena. Okay. These are different types of pattern of reproduction. Some are they reproduce once in their lifetime, multiple reproduction. Some are producing very small size organism but huge number. Some are producing large in size but number will be very less. These are the phenomena you can see which related to your reproductive fitness. Fine. Okay. These reproductive fitness or all the offsprings which are surviving in nature because of the competition or whatever, the survival of the fittest, all these will contribute in a population. The size of the population should increase. The organism should dominate in a particular habitat. All these are happening to fulfill the aim called domination in a particular area, or there is no competition. Okay. They should survive and reproduce peacefully. Because of that, all these processes are happening. Now we are actually getting to population interaction. Population interaction. This is very beautiful concept which comes under organism and population. We are going to study now. Okay. Every organism in a nature, they always try to increase the biological community. All organism, each and every organism in a nature, they always try to increase their biological community, nothing but the increase in number of their species. Biological community. Okay. As you know, the food or the space is provided by the habitat, as well as by utilizing all the food or the resource provided by the nature, the organism will express whole so as to they need to reach the maximum number in a particular habitat, so that they has to maintain some interaction with the organisms, right? They has to maintain they have to maintain some interaction with the organism to increase the population. Okay. The organism which are belongs to same species, if they interact with each other, known to be interspecific interaction. interspecific interaction. In our nature, we can find many interactions. In a broadly sense, we are classifying these interactions into mainly 6 types. Why this interaction is very important? How the interaction is taking place? What types of interaction you can find in a nature? My dear students, basically the interaction means there is one organism and here is another organism. One organism for food to survive, they are going to eat another organism, okay, and the organism which is being eaten by another organism known to be the prey. The organism is one who is going to eat the prey is known to be the predator. This is what you call as a prey-predator relationship. Prey-predator relationship. Okay, that we will discuss about. Before going to prey-predator relationship, I must tell you the different interaction we can see in a nature. My dear students, see, we have you may, I don't know whether you know or not. The first one is called as a mutualism. Mutualism. One by one we are going to discuss, okay, fine. Mutualism. The second one is called as a competition. Mutualism, competition. Then predation. Mutualism, competition, predation. Then parasitism. Fourth one is parasitism. By looking at these interaction, we are classifying, okay, in a broad classification manner, we are classifying into 6. Mutualism, competition, predation, parasitism. The fifth one is commensalism. Fine. The sixth one is commensalism, of course, amensalism. Okay, I repeat, by looking at the different interactions, we are classifying different types of interaction happening in a nature. In a broadly sense, I can classify into 6. Okay, mutualism, competition, predation, parasitism, then commensalism, amensalism. Okay, which one we are going to study now? Mutualism, no. Competition, no. I start from the basic, predation. Find here? Okay. We are going to start from predation, then we are going to discuss predation fully. After that, I can give you a link to different types of interaction. Fine for you? Okay. The first one is a predation. Predation. Okay. Before going to predation, my dear students, if the organism belongs to same species, if they interact to each other, they are known to be intraspecific. The organisms of two different community, two different species are interacting each other known to be intraspecific interactions. Intraspecific. Okay. Now people, are you ready for predation? Yes, predation. As I told you earlier, there are two factors are very important while discussing about predation. One is prey, another one is predators. Prey is an organism, right? Predator is an organism, right? Okay. The organism is being eaten by predators known to be prey. Organism is being eaten by the predators known to be the prey. The organism, this one, the organism which is going to eat prey known to be the predator. So simple. I repeat, the predator is an organism which going to eat prey is known to be the predator. organism which is going to eat prey is known to be the predator. One is being eaten by the predator known to be the prey. This is called as a prey-predator relationship. Prey-predator relationship. So simple, right? Prey-predator relationship. Okay. Prey-predator relationship. This prey-predator relationship will be resulting the concept called or the phenomena called as the predation. Okay. This prey-predator relationship, they cause the phenomena called as the predation. This is very important. You must understand what you mean by prey and predator. Fine for you? Okay. I will continue. I rub this. In our nature, almost all herbivores or carnivores, whatever you find, they belong to this group, predators. All carnivores, herbivores, they belongs to this group, predators group. And of course, they shows a phenomena called as a predation. They shows a phenomena called as a predation. In our nature, if you link your ecosystem, the primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumers, all will definitely obey the concept of predation. Here, the secondary consumer will be the predator for the prey of a primary consumer. The tertiary consumer will be the predator for the prey of secondary consumer. This is the link. Fine. Predation, carnivores as well as herbivores. In our nature, almost all herbivores, almost all carnivores belongs to this predators group. Fine. Next, the very important factor that is happening in our nature is, which is in relation with the prey predators, is predators known to be the prudent. Predators known to be the prudent. This is important, very important. Prudent in nature. I repeat, predators known to be the prudent in the nature. In our biological system, predators known to be the prudent in a nature. Why predator is known to be the prudent? I will explain you. This is very important. Predator known to be the prudent in the nature. Fine. See, we have seen prey predators, right? Prey and predators. Prey and predators. If predators over exploits the prey, if predators, one is eating the prey, over exploits the prey, then the number of prey will be decreasing, correct? Are you obey? Decreasing, nothing but the population of the prey is going to be decreased because of the predators, if they over exploits. Okay. If the community, if the number of the prey is decreasing, day by day it is decreasing, the number of the organism in a prey group is decreasing, then there is no food for predators, there is no nourishment or nutrition for the predators. What will happen to predators? What will happen? There is a struggling for food. Because of the struggling, there is a competition. Because of the competition, the weaker one will be eliminated or undergoes a process of death. The stronger will lead, and when the prey level is 0, they become extinct. This also going to die. So simple. The predators and prey, of course, they are showing the process of interaction. The interaction is such a way that if there is no prey, there is no predator. If there is no predator, there is no prey. How I tell you? If predator over exploits the prey, okay, the number of organism will be decreasing, so there is no predators. Okay. If the number of organism in a prey will be eaten by predators, and if they controlling the number of the prey, then the balance is maintaining. Just imagine, I have a prey, but I don't have a predators. What will happen to the prey number? They will increase, there is much community, greater number, and they will be dominating. Okay, no one will controlling. So the biological balance is disturbed now. So the predator is a reason for the balancing, they are balancing the nature. Because of that, predators are known to be the prudent. They are much helping for the future. They are maintaining the balance of the nature. So that the predator is known to be the prudents in nature. Okay. If the predator is over exploiting the prey, then there is a very competition happening in each organism. Because of that, there is a elimination of the weaker one and stronger one will be survive, and there is no biological balance. So that predators are called as a prudent in the nature. This is important. Predators are known to be the prudent in nature. Okay. In our biological system, the predation is very important. The predation is very important. Why I tell you? Predators control the biological balance. Predators control the biological balance, okay, or prey community too. Fine. It is known to be the biological controller. Biological controller. Predators are helping to attain the biological balance. It is known to be the biological controller. And even the predators are helping to maintain species diversity. Species diversity. Biological balance also maintained by the predators, as well as a species diversity also maintained by the predators. How the biological control is maintained by the predators, or the species diversity, how they are going to maintain? Oh, the first one we are going to talk about this one, biological control by the predators. Biological control by the predators. This is very important as well as very interesting. In during 1920, I feel, yes, during 1920, Australia, okay, the organism called as prickly pear cactus. It is a plant, prickly pear cactus. They were introduced in that beautiful area of Australia during 1920. Okay. The organism called as a prickly pear cactus, they were introduced. Of course, there is no competitor, there is no predator. These organisms start to enjoy all the resource provided by the nature in such a way that they are going to, they were increasing their number more and more. The number become huge and they create havoc. Because of that, in whole place of Australia, you will start to find prickly pear cactus. There is no control at all. So at later stage, what they have done is whatever the ecologists they were present, they introduced the moth eating this prickly pear cactus. What may be the scenario? The moth started to eat this organism, pear cactus. These were very less in number. the huge nourishment, huge nutrition already available here, they start to enjoy the resource and they were start to eating this. So, the number become less and the balance were maintained. Balance were maintained. Balance were maintained. Here prickly pear cactus known to be the prey, moth is called as a predator. Understood? Prey and predator. This is the example why biological control is how the biological control is maintained by the predator. Because of this predator, this scenario is came to normal. Fine. The next one is species diversity. Again, the species diversity is maintained by the predators. How the species diversity is maintained? Why we are very much interested on the importance of predation, how they are maintaining the species diversity. Okay. Again, there is one starfish in America. There is one starfish in America. There is one starfish called Pisaster. Starfish called Pisaster. In America, there was a starfish called Pisaster. Of course, in American sea coast, there is one starfish called Pisaster. What the scientists were done is, they taken a particular ground in American sea coast, a particular area, where in that particular area, they were start to remove the starfish called as a Pisaster. Okay. Because of that, almost 9 to 10 invertebrates being eliminated. Why they been eliminated is, this Pisaster, what the starfish that we were talking about, Pisaster, okay, it was the predator for many organisms. These 10 invertebrates were the prey. Because of the elimination of these Pisaster, that lead to the intraspecific competition among these organisms. Because of the competition, many organisms, they start to undergo a process of death, so that they lost almost 10 invertebrates in American sea coast. This shows the predators are very important to maintain species diversity. This is very important. Okay, fine. Biological control done by predators, also species diversity is maintained by predators, right? Okay, fine. As you know, the predators are so strong that the prey cannot escape from eating them, right? Exactly, right. Now you may have one question, sir, how prey is escaping by the predators? You may have a question. I know. Okay. The first one is, compared to prey, the predators are very strong. Okay. You cannot easily escape from predator. So, the prey undergoes a process of adaptation, modification to escape from the predator. The first one is camouflage. Camouflage is nothing but cryptic coloration. Cryptic coloration. Coloration. Don't worry, this is so simple. Cryptic coloration means the prey, the organism known to be the prey, which one is known to be the prey, they resemble the color of their habitat or the shelter where they are living. Many insects or frogs are showing this kind of phenomena. Where they are living in a habitat, where they are living, they resemble the color. So, in sudden prey cannot differentiate which one is the prey, sorry, the predator cannot differentiate which one is the prey, which one is the habitat. Like many insects living in a tree bark, they resemble the color of tree bark. As a sudden, when you see that, you cannot resemble which one is the prey, which one is the tree bark, something like that. Okay, that is called as a camouflage. The color will be the same. The organism which is known to be the prey, they change their color by the process of evolution or whatever it is. They undergo the process of cryptic coloration so as to escape from the predator. Escape from the predator. That is the first one. This is important. Some insects or frogs, they are showing camouflage. Some organisms are these prey, but I am talking of prey. Some organisms belongs to prey. They are poisonous. Poisonous. They are poisonous. Of course, because of poison, the prey cannot eat, the predator cannot eat the prey. Because of the poison, predator cannot eat the prey. There is one butterfly called as a monarch butterfly. Monarch butterfly. Okay. They consisting of some chemicals which is very toxic. That chemical is being adopted for this monarch when the monarch butterfly in a caterpillar stage, they were eating the poisonous weed. Poisonous weed they were eating. Because of that, they acquired the poison or the chemical in them. Because of that, the predator cannot eat the butterfly. Cannot eat the butterfly. That is the second condition. The third one is many prey. Okay, they consisting thorns in them. Okay, you may have examples of acacia or cactus. They are consisting thorns in them, so the organism cannot eat because it will tear your the mouth part or your digestion part, everything inside you. Because of that, the predator will it almost escape to eat the prey which is consisting thorns. It is helping to defense, okay, self defense. Thorns, camouflage you have seen, some are poisonous also you have seen, some consisting thorns. Okay. Fourth one is very interesting. Before going to talk about the fourth one, my dear students, you must know, as the time passes, as the evolution takes place, the prey is adopted to such a way that they start to escape maximally, okay, from the predation. Because of that, all these adaptations were arrived. These adaptations will be given by the blessing of nature, because there should be a balance, right? There should be a biological balance. Okay. Some organisms they will produce some chemicals. They produce some chemicals, okay, which become a threat to the organism. So because of these chemicals may tear the mouth part or cannot digest in their body, causes that become indigestion for them, or in extreme cases they may be kill them too. Okay, these chemicals are it become very blessing for the prey. The calotropis, consisting this kind of a chemical called as cardiac glycosides. Hope you can see this, cardiac glycosides, cardiac glycosides. This cardiac glycosides will be what they can decrease the contraction of a heart, the heart wall, decrease the contraction of heart wall, okay, that caused by the chemical of cardiac glycosides present in a calotropis. So, the goats or your cattle never going to eat this, okay. Goats and some cattle, able to see, goats and cattle, they never going to eat this, okay, fine. And even I can give some examples for cardiac glycosides. There are so many organisms which produce this kind of chemicals, okay. Some examples of chemicals like caffeine, then some opium, then some nicotine, exactly, nicotine, okay. These are all become very poisonous or causes indigestion. In extreme cases, some organism will undergo process of death by eating these chemicals. They become that kind of a toxic, okay. This is about the prey and predators. Why predators are very important on biological control as well as to maintain the species diversity, and how the prey is escaping from the predators. These are, one is camouflage and some are poisonous, some showing thorns in them, and some process chemicals that may kill the predators too. This is about today's class, fine, okay. So, this is the time to wind up the class. Thank you for your patient listening. I hope you are fit and fine at home. Thank you so much.